2 people, 1 apartment, $560 a month. I call us the poorest family on our floor. But somehow, we are the most loved. Hi, I'm Kong, a 34-year-old living in Hanoi, Vietnam. Let me show you why. The mousetrap is empty again. These mice are smarter than I give them credit for. My mother and I share this apartment with one other person. Together, we split a 70 square meter unit. Our share of the rent is $135 a month. For what we own, this place is too big. We have almost no furniture to fill it. The landlord gave us the basics. 1 bed, 1 wooden wardrobe, a kitchen with cabinets, and a refrigerator. That is everything. Each floor in this building has 16 apartments. You might wonder, who lives here? Every single unit belongs to a young family. Parents between 30 and 45. Children from 1 to 15 years old. And then there is us. My mother and me. No wife, no children, just 2 people from a small village trying to figure out the city. The building moves fast. Doors open, then close immediately. A dry sound, click, done. In the elevator, people look at their phones. No eye contact, no nod. Sometimes, not even a breath in each other's direction. For my mother, this was hard at first. Back in our village, neighbors know your name. They ask how you slept. They knock on your door with a bowl of soup when you are sick. You trade vegetables over a low fence. She told me that when she first arrived in Hanoi, the silence made her chest feel tight. So she did something simple. She started saying hello first. She talked to the security guard in the mornings. She greeted the cleaning lady by name. In the elevator, she smiled before anyone else did. And some evenings, she would carry a small fruit, a mango, a guava, whatever we had, and knock on a neighbor's door. Slowly, the children started coming to her. Their parents would send them over with something to share. A bag of longan, a few pieces of cake, small things. But the kind of small things that mean everything. In Vietnam, we say, better a close neighbor than a distant relative. It sounds simple, but living it, that takes intention. The city does not naturally give you community. You have to bring it yourself. Is it the same where you live? Every morning, I walk out to this balcony, and I breathe in the same air as the richest man in Vietnam. About 1 kilometer from here, in a straight line, if you were a bird, is the headquarters of Vingroup, and somewhere near it, the home of Bam Nhat Vuong. $35 billion, according to Forbes magazine. He did not start here. He built his first business in Ukraine, far from home, in a country most Vietnamese people had never heard of. He came back. He built something enormous. From the outside, I think about that sometimes. Before my father passed away, he said something I still hear some mornings. No matter how far you go, one day you will come back. I don't know if he meant the village or just himself. Maybe both. But not yet. Right now, there is work to do. It is 5 a.m. The city is already awake. From the balcony, I can see a few motorbikes moving below. Slow, scattered. A small group of people jogging along the footpath, arms swinging. Down at the corner, a sanitation worker is sweeping. A bamboo broom. The sound comes up clearly even from this height. Scratch, pause, scratch, and somewhere in the trees nearby, a small bird is singing. I like this hour. The city has not yet remembered it is busy. For just a few minutes, everything moves at a human pace. We brought this jackfruit up from our village. I press my palm gently against the skin. A soft dot, slightly giving under my hand. The surface still rough with short spines, but no longer hard. It is ready. This one weighs about 5 kilograms. In a Vietnamese market, a jackfruit this size would sell for around 2 to 3 US dollars. Not expensive, but when you carry it 100 kilometers from home, it becomes something else. It is not just fruit anymore. It is the village packed into a green shell. 2 people cannot finish a jackfruit like this in one sitting. We know that. We already have a plan. Do you have jackfruit where you live? Have you ever tried it? If not, keep watching. The moment we cut it open, the smell fills the room. Not a light smell. A deep, warm, heavy sweetness that travels through walls. If the windows are open, the neighbors will know. Inside, the flesh is golden yellow. Each segment sits neatly, swollen with juice, soft to the touch. Between the pieces, there is a white sticky sap. It clings to everything. Fingers, knife, the cutting board. Water does not remove it. Soap does not remove it. You simply have to manage it. We use paper to wipe it away as we work. Back in our village, we used loofah leaves. I do not know the science behind it, but loofah leaves clean jackfruit sap completely, perfectly, as if they were made for exactly that purpose. Like they were designed for each other before anyone thought to ask why. I miss that tree, our jackfruit tree at home. I wonder if the fruit has all ripened by now. No one is there to pick it. My mother looks over at me. She asks about the YouTube channel. How is it going? Have we earned anything yet? I tell her the truth. Not yet. We have not reached 300 subscribers. We need 1,000 before the channel can even apply to earn. It is a long road still. She pauses. Then she says she has noticed me staying up late, editing, staring at the screen past midnight. I tell her I am fine, and I mean it, not the way people say it when they are not fine, but the real version. During the day, between delivery orders, I watch tutorials on my phone. How to frame a shot, how to cut between scenes, how to make something ordinary feel worth watching. At night, I practice on the laptop. The skills are getting better, slowly, but they are getting better. We eat the jackfruit standing in the kitchen. No table setting, no ceremony. Just 2 people pulling golden segments apart with their fingers. The juice running down to the wrist if you are not careful. Ripe jackfruit is very sweet, dense and filling in a way that surprises people who have never had it before. 10 pieces and you are already slowing down. 15 and you are done for the morning. While we eat, I ask my mother how yesterday was. Whether the sun was too harsh. Whether her back held up. She asks me how many delivery orders I completed, which neighborhoods I covered, how much I brought home. Yesterday I rode about 100 kilometers, 12 orders, around $15 after the platform takes its cut. We do not eat the whole fruit at once. That would be wasteful. My mother separates the flesh carefully into portions. One portion goes into a sealed bag for the refrigerator. Cold jackfruit tastes better anyway. The sweetness concentrates. The texture firms up slightly. It will keep for 3 to 5 days. And one portion my mother sets aside on a small plate. Across the hallway lives a woman who moved in recently with her 2 young children, a mother raising them alone. I do not know her full story, but my mother does. The way mothers always find these things out within a week of moving somewhere new. The 2 children have started coming over to sit with my mother in the afternoons. She teaches them small things: how to fold paper, how to peel fruit properly, how to sit still for 5 minutes. For the children, it is something to do. For my mother, it is something she needed without knowing she needed it. In Vietnamese, there is an old saying, "Ban ant im sa mua lang kiên gan." Roughly translated, it is better to have a good neighbor nearby than a distant relative. The meaning goes deeper than convenience. It is about the kind of help that only proximity can give. The neighbor who hears you fall. The neighbor who notices when your light does not turn on. The relative who loves you but cannot reach you in time. In a city where doors stay closed and elevators stay silent, my mother decided to become that neighbor. She did not announce it. She just showed up with fruit. For many people who move from a village to a city, the hardest thing is not the cost of rent or the distance to work. It is the feeling that no one around you knows your name. My mother refused to feel that way, and slowly she changed the floor around her. Is community like this still possible where you live, or has the city made that harder too? Most people stop at the flesh. They eat the yellow segments, throw away the rest, and consider the jackfruit finished. But there is something inside that most people overlook: the seeds. Each jackfruit contains between 30 and 50 seeds, depending on the size. Large, smooth, cream-colored. They look unremarkable, but they are one of the most nutritious parts of the fruit. High in starch, protein, and B vitamins. In traditional Vietnamese medicine, jackfruit seeds have been used for digestion and general strength for generations. The preparation is simple. You boil them immediately after opening the fruit. If you wait too long, the texture turns chalky and the flavor fades. Timing matters. While the seeds are boiling, my mother tells me something. She says that when she was young, in the late 1970s and early 1980s, jackfruit seeds were not a bonus. They were a meal. Vietnam was still very poor then. Rice was rationed. Families stretched every grain by mixing it with whatever else they could find: sweet potato, cassava, taro root, banana blossom, and seeds. Jackfruit seeds, breadfruit seeds, anything with enough starch to quiet a hungry stomach. She says it without bitterness, just as a fact. The way people describe weather from a decade ago, it happened. It was what it was. I listen and think about what it means that the same seed which fed her generation through scarcity now sits in my kitchen as a small discovery. Something I am introducing to people across the world who have never seen one. For many Vietnamese families, food memory runs deeper than taste. It carries the shape of the years behind it. A boiled seed is not just a boiled seed. It is a grandmother stretching rice in 1979. It is a mother feeding 4 children with whatever the garden gave. It is a whole generation learning to make something from almost nothing. The seeds are done. I take one out and peel back the thin membrane. It comes off in a single strip if you catch it at the right angle. Underneath, the seed is pale and smooth, still steaming slightly. The texture is dense, starchy in the way that fills you from the inside out. The flavor is mild, earthy, faintly sweet, a little like a chestnut but softer. 10 seeds and your stomach is already sending signals to slow down. It costs nothing. It was already inside the fruit we carried from home. I have not eaten jackfruit seeds in years, but the first bite brings something back immediately. When I was young, we had a wood fire stove in the kitchen at home. On evenings when jackfruit season arrived, someone would always throw a handful of seeds directly into the embers. You waited. The outer skin blackened and split. The starch inside cooked and swelled, and when it was ready, the smell reached every corner of the house. All the children in the neighborhood knew that smell. We would crowd around the stove, waiting for the seeds to cool just enough to hold. Then we ate them, standing up, passing them between hands, too impatient to sit down. Have you ever eaten jackfruit seeds? If not, you are missing something very specific about this part of the world. I should warn you about one thing though. If you eat jackfruit seeds every day for several days in a row, your body will let everyone around you know. The smell is not polite. My mother hears me say this and shakes her head slowly, the way she always does when she is trying not to smile. After eating jackfruit, your hands will be covered in sap, not lightly, thoroughly. It wraps around your fingers in a thin, invisible film that water cannot break. Add soap, still there. Scrub harder, still there. The sap simply does not respond to the things that usually work. Vietnamese people have a solution that has been passed down for a very long time: raw rice. Take a small handful, rub it between your palms and across your fingers, and the tiny grains pull the sap away completely. Clean hands in under a minute. I have done this my whole life, and I still do not fully understand the chemistry behind it. I just know it works. Some things you do not need to explain. You just trust them. One more thing. If you eat jackfruit and do not brush your teeth immediately, the sweetness stays with you. Not just in your mouth. It follows you into every conversation for the rest of the morning. I speak from experience. At balcony, our clothes hang in a row. Shirts, trousers, a few of my mother's things. In Vietnam, most households still dry laundry this way. Sunlight and wind. No dryer, no timer. You hang them in the morning and collect them in the afternoon. And if rain comes unexpectedly, you run. Against the wall, there is a small wooden rack. Pots and pans hanging from hooks. A plastic dish rack. A hole leaning in the corner, the kind you use for turning soil. That hole belongs to our garden. We grow whatever is in season. Water spinach in the wet months. Some herbs, whatever my mother decides to try next. Right now, the plants are struggling. Hanoi summers are not gentle. The heat comes off the concrete and the glass and the pavement all at once. And by midday, this balcony becomes something close to an oven. The leaves on two of the plants have curled inward. One pot has gone mostly brown. Before I leave, there is one last thing to do. The mouse trap. I pick it up from its corner. The sticky kind, a flat board coated in adhesive strong enough to hold whatever walks across it. Still clean, still empty. The mice have not touched it once since I set it 3 days ago. I am starting to think they know. I move it to a different position this time. Every night, we hear them. Above the ceiling panels, there is movement. Small, fast, surprisingly loud for something that size. They run in short bursts, stop, run again. It starts around 11 and continues past midnight. My mother cannot sleep through it, neither can I. Last month, we found that something had chewed through part of an electrical wire near the kitchen. A clean bite right through the insulation. We had to tape it temporarily until we could find someone to look at it properly. The air conditioning unit stopped working. Before we stay here, I have a theory about that. I am not an electrician, but I have my suspicions. In a city this size, you expect certain challenges. Traffic, noise, the cost of everything. You do not expect to be outsmarted nightly by a creature the size of your fist. And yet, here we are. I look at the trap one more time before heading to the door, maybe tonight. I rode my motorbike out of the parking garage. The delivery app is already showing orders queued nearby. The city is fully awake now. Restaurants are opening, offices are filling, people are hungry and busy and need things brought to them. That is where I come in. Each completed order is a small thing. A bag of food handed through a door, a signature on a screen, 40 seconds of interaction with a stranger, then back on the bike. But those 40 seconds, repeated across a full day, add up to something real. $8, $10. On a good day, 12. And every row I ride teaches me something about this city. Which alleys save time in the rain. Which buildings have elevators and which have 5 flights of stairs. Which neighborhoods slow down after noon and which ones never do. I came here knowing almost nothing about Hanoi. The city is teaching me. One delivery at a time. My mother on her bicycle, moving slowly along the edge of the road. A small bag on the front basket, a cloth mask across her face. She is on her way to the school she cleans every morning, sweeping classrooms, wiping down desks, mopping floors before the children arrive and undo all of it. 2 people, $560 a month. By most measurements, we are the poorest family on this floor. But I have been thinking about why that other thing is also true. Why the children come to my mother's door. Why the security guard saves her a seat in the shade. Why the cleaning lady stops to talk to her every morning when she stops for no one else. I think it is because my mother never waited for the city to be warm first. In a building where everyone is busy, everyone is tired, everyone is managing something invisible behind a closed door, she just decided to go first, to say hello before anyone said it to her, to bring fruit before anyone brought anything to us. It costs almost nothing. A piece of jackfruit, a knock on a door, a smile in an elevator that is going nowhere special. But in a place where people have forgotten to expect that from strangers, it lands differently. It stays. For many people who move from a village to a city, the poverty is not only financial, it is the poverty of not being known, of living close to hundreds of people and mattering to none of them. My mother decided that was not acceptable, and because of that, we are poor in money and rich in something harder to measure. I do not know what to call it exactly. Maybe just people who will notice if we do not come home. Is that not what everyone is looking for, no matter where they live? After a long day of work and nearly 100 kilometers on the road, I stopped by a market near my home to buy some groceries for my mother and myself for the next few days.
Ôi dồi ôi, nói thật với mày, chưa từng thấy đứa nào nó nghịch như thế. Cả nhà toàn gọi là cháu bà Nga, đúng là cháu bà Nga. Nghịch còn hơn cả tao hồi nhỏ. Nó đi xe máy nhá, nó để mẹ chân lên ghi đông ấy mày ạ. Thế xong rồi nó nếu ngồi ở trên xe nó đứng mẹ lên, nó bỏ hai tay ra nó đi. Xong rồi nó nghĩa là không còn cái trò nào nữa. Đi học thì bốc mẹ giã nát phấn ra đổ mẹ vào đầu bạn ấy. Nó nghịch ngày xưa phải bằng. Nó nghịch dã man luôn. Không còn cái trò gì là nó không nghịch. Làm gì? Quay gì? Không. Cái bắp giòn này. Thì nướng đấy để mà hôm khác ăn.
Bạn đã nhận được 70.000 đồng.
Cảm ơn nhé. Bán em cái rau. Để bữa sau non này ra ăn tiếp. Non như này đúng không? Nhà mình bán là của nhà mình rồi. Cái này chắc là cũng của nhà. rau xà lách này bao tiền cân?
Cái lách này cân cân 37, bán lẻ.
Trời ơi. Cái bán một cây đi, bán cây đi. Một cây. Cây cân lên. Bao nhiêu? 10.000 à? Cây non.
Cái này ơi, 70 này, nó 38 rồi. Nó có cái lắc này.
Cây này là bao tiền?
Cái này 10.000.
Con ngồi đấy to nhỉ?
Có chứ. Chưa sao rồi đấy.
Con này đúng là chị chồng rồi.
Cái này là mấy ơi nhỉ?
38.
38, 15 hả?
38 với 15.